So welcome back to French Countryside Life, where we find ourselves in the workshop. A number of things to do today. I have to go shopping in a bit, that's one thing. Sue's room, or the guest room, is finished, which I'll show you in a bit. That's nice. Come and have a look at this first. So this is the spare strimmer and brush cutter that needs repairing. What happened was that the engine kept cutting out. I couldn't work out why, till I noticed that the carburettor was really loose. So tried to screw it up, tried to bolt it up, and didn't want to know, it wouldn't tighten up. So when I had a look, these are the bolts that hold the carburettor and the throttle body to the piston, to the cylinder. You can see the end of the bolt is all stripped, so it wasn't able to tighten up. So these are the new bolts, and if you compare them, you'll see that the new one here has got plenty of thread on it, so that will tighten up. The only issue being that when I took it all apart, the gasket fell apart. So I'm going to get some instant gasket, which is like a gasket in a tube, and use some of that and put it all back together, and hopefully that will fix it. So I guess we'll see. So the replacement bolts from the manufacturer were €6 each. So that's €12 for 2 bolts. The generic M6 bolts, 60 centimes each. So, was that 10 times? Yeah, 10 times the price from the manufacturer to just from your local hardware store. So it just shows you that you've got to think about these things. Otherwise you'll be throwing money away, which you don't want to do. So one of the jobs for today is to sort this lot out. I've come up with a cunning plan. So let's get on with that. First step is to get everything out so we can see what we've got and plan it from there. So that's that all swept up. So let's get on and make something. So I keep finding drowned mice and drowned shrews, funnily enough. I think what they're doing at night, they're coming along, seeing this hole and go, oh, let's have a look. Go in there and plop and drop in there, and they can't get out and they drown. And it's not very nice, you know, to have a dead animal in the water. Even worse for the mouse or the shrew. So, in order to protect them, let's do something. Let's do something about it. So I've got this aluminium mesh that was left over from when I did the chicken coop. So plan is, I can cut a piece out and hot glue it to there. I can still get my finger in to open it, but any mice or shrews that come along won't be able to plop, or won't find themselves plopping into the water. Yeah, I reckon that'll work. There you go. I reckon that'll probably work. Right. A bit more glue on here, I think. There we are. Just let that dry. Put my finger in. So let that cool down and we'll go and try it out. Okay. So we've got the mesh on the back there. I can put my finger in there and see if it fits. I reckon that's a good deed done for the day. We've saved a mouse or a shrew from certain death. So I feel good about that one. So I've just got to do the other one, and yeah, it's a job done. Brilliant. So this is voiceover Colin, because workshop Colin forgot to turn the mics on. So this is the tube of blue silicon gasket. It's basically a gasket in a tube. I explained earlier that the card gasket had fallen apart when I took it out. So it's basically laying down a very thin line of blue gasket just to seal up the gap between the throttle body and the cylinder. You don't want to put too much on, otherwise it will squirt out and get into the piston and cause all sorts of dramas. So just putting the throttle body back on with the new bolts in. Just using a hex bit in the screwdriver to screw the throttle body back onto the piston or cylinder. So you can see the carburetor just hanging down on the left there. I just dropped the drill bit, or the hex bit. So this is like a sort of like a gasket, but it's more of a heat shield really. It would help if I had it the right way up. It's upside down, you idiot. Turn it around the other way. There you go. Honestly. You pay peanuts, you get monkeys, don't you? There you go, heat shield in place. And the carburetor going back on. That's the vacuum pipe and that's the fuel pipe. So I had a bit of a drama trying to get the throttle cable back on. It's a good job the mic was switched off. Some choice words. This is where I switched it off so I could do it and put it back on again. So then the air cleaner body goes back on. Just getting the bolts together. Screwing the bolts back on, being careful not to over tighten them because I don't want to strip the bolts because that's what happened last time. So tight but without being over tight. Then there's a little oil soaked air cleaner inside that black plastic cover. That goes back on, and the little red choke lever pokes through. I'll hand you back to workshop Colin. That's that all put back. We'll see if it works. I guess we'll see. Get some fuel in it for a start. So we're just priming it, getting some fuel around the system. Check, switch it on. Right, well, I call that a success. I think I've got to adjust the throttle a bit so it's it idles at a bit lower revs, but other than that, I think we're good to go. Brilliant. Okay, so we've got a 3 metre piece of wood here. I'm going to chop it off, make 2 1.5 metre lengths of wood. Going to plane it, sand it, and then we're going to put some pegs in there. I'm going to make from this old child safety gate. I'm going to use these dowels here as pegs to go into the wood, and then stack the tools on the rack. That's the plan. How hard can it be? Okay, so we've got our 2 bars. So just need to find the centre. Doesn't have to be perfect. Right there. So this is 150 long, 150 centimetres long. So that means do one every 15 centimetres. We should get 9 bars. So just mark that up. There we go. Good. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Look at that. Who knew? Okay. So 2 9's 18. So we need 18 of these. Good. I've already marked this, so let's just saw 1, or cut 1 I should say. And we can measure all the rest from that one. There we are. Good. So that's 1. We need 18 of those. So let's crack on with that. So we've got 18 pegs, all sawn and sanded, all lovely. So I've just got to drill the holes now. So let's get on with it. So I know that this is the sort of angle that I want, roughly. So like that. So roughly like that. So I'm just going deep enough up to the shoulder of the drill. The last one. Okay, so let's get the sawdust out of him. So these should go in there, like that. You can see that. So that's all them glued in now with the help of my beautiful assistant. Yeah, good. Got set up. The The idea for the grill on the swimming pool skimmers was all Jane's. I told her what the problem was, and she said, "Why don't you use the grill from when you made the chicken coop?" I thought, yeah, of course. So all the glory. Anyway, so this is all done. So I'm just going to put this to one side for the glue to dry, and do the other one, and then I think tomorrow we'll get them up on the wall. I bought some more threaded. Where are we? Some more threaded rods and some nuts. So this is just plasterboard here. This is plasterboard, and this is chipboard. So that'll be no good to drill it, like to get a fixing on. So what I'm going to do on the other side of this is blocks, concrete blocks. So I'm going to drill all the way through and attach them with bolts and washers. So they won't be going anywhere. So that's the plan. So I'll finish this now, and we'll see you tomorrow. Okay, so it's time to get these on the wall. Let's get the wall measured up. The holes drilled in these, and we'll get them on the wall. Let's do that. So I reckon starting about there. Okay, so I'm just going to drill the hole, so 5 centimetres from the end. Just drill a hole. Okay, so that's the holes drilled on both sides. Marked up the wall. All that's left to do is to drill some holes in the wall. Safely through, didn't you? Okay, so let's cut the threaded bar to fit. Okay, that's going to be hot, so we'll just tidy it up a little bit. Lovely. So just tighten this up. Good. So that's the completed rack. I think it looks pretty good. Pleased with that. It's as tough as anything, it's not going anywhere. And yeah, everything's to hand. Nice and safe, it's not going to fall on anybody. Yeah, brilliant, really pleased with that. Alright, so as promised, let's go take a look at the completed guest room. So thanks for watching. You can like the video with a thumbs up. Maybe think about subscribing if you haven't already. Maybe share it on social media, that would really help. All that leaves to say is mine, there you go, and I'll see you soon.